Yo, yo. Hop. We'll wait for a few people to hop on. It's beautiful Sunday afternoon here in Destin, Florida, hanging out on the front porch of the beach house, chilling with the famous Big Mama Rood. We're going to talk about what I've learned the past 14 years in real estate. Let a few people hop on. But I'm going to talk to you guys about something very important because there's a lot of guys telling you things that are information, but it's not knowledge, right? There's a difference between information and knowledge. Information is just information, right? Knowledge is like specialty information that you apply that works. So, and I'm going to tell you knowledge based on experience, based on a lot of freaking mistakes. Tons of mistakes. I'm talking tons of mistakes. I'm still paying for it. So,
are you talking about me?
Yeah, you're one of the mistakes. She's one of the mistakes right there. Still waiting on that. I'm still waiting on that post-nuptial agreement. What's up, Clayton? What's up, Brian? What's up, Colton, Alfred, CJ? Hope you're doing good. So, I think we got enough people on here live. I'm going to talk to you about something that I've experienced. So, if you don't know who I am, Chris Rood from Lafayette, Louisiana, even though I'm residing in Florida now, in Destin, Florida. But been a real estate investor for 14 years now. Been an entrepreneur for 17 years. And guys, I've learned a lot. Like, I don't come on these live videos because I just picked up real estate or entrepreneurship. I'm almost 40 years old, and I'll be 39 next week. And I've learned a lot, right? I've made a ton of mistakes. I've made so many mistakes, it's made me wise, and it was painful, but it's made me wise, right? And I want to talk to you about the difference between active investing, passive investing, and playing offense and defense, right? And Patty, make sure you tell me the comments because I can't see the comments.
Okay. Oh, let me tell you the first comment that you really need to hear.
What?
Clayton said that I'm the best mistake you ever made.
The best mistake I ever made.
Comment of the day.
Oh man.
Smart guy, Clayton.
Clayton, you're trying to get crawfish A2 fade points. That's what it sounds like. You're just trying to get crawfish A2 fade points. Yeah. Anyway, so, I've been investing in real estate for 14 years. I actually was able to get into my shops I started. I had the biggest quick lube car wash and mechanic shop franchise in my town at one time, and I was able to buy all those shops because I flipped real estate and used all that money to get into the quick lube mechanic shop and auto glass business, right? So I know a thing or two about real estate and entrepreneurship. Made a lot of mistakes. Had a few businesses fail. Had a few businesses do really well. But I get a lot of questions, Chris. Where should I start in real estate? Should I just buy a bunch of single family homes and do passive income? Should I wholesale? Should I flip? Should I just go straight to apartments and do multifamily? And there's a difference, right? There's a difference between offense and defense in the real estate game, and how there's a corollary to that to active investing versus passive investing, right? And if you don't know what active investing is, it's actively going out there and it's transactional, right? It's like wholesaling and flipping houses, making cash up front pretty quick. Versus, I compare it, versus the defensive model, which is what? Passive investing, which is buy and hold, single family homes, multifamily, whatever you're doing, short-term vacation rentals. And you have to understand the difference in their importance in when you're trying to get started. Because if you think you're gonna just get started like me, like I was an idiot, right? What's up, Ms. D? What's up, Chris, Jerome? When I first got into real estate, I bought a bunch of single family homes. I was like, I'm gonna be a real estate investor. I'm gonna buy a bunch of single family homes, right? So I bought a bunch of single family homes and I was like, I'm a real estate investor, right? And I did good. I bought up like $2.5-3 million worth of single family homes, about like 30 single family homes, and I had to leverage like $3 million to make like $8,000 a month in single family homes, and it was spread out everywhere. And the economy ended up slowing down and crashing where I lived, and I took a freaking ass beating. I'm still taking an ass beating from it to this day. But I'm telling you that because that I was trying to play defense before I had an offense. Meaning, I was trying to, become a passive investor before I was an active investor. And how is this important? And how is this relevant to what this live is? I need all the comments, Patty, when you
Okay.
So how is this relevant? This is relevant because you should not be, if you're just getting started in the real estate, which a lot of people that come on these lives that listen to them, they're just getting started in real estate because they want real estate content. You're typically just getting started. You do not want to be a buy and hold guy just starting out. You don't want to buy a bunch of single family homes just starting out, or multifamily, because it's such a slow game. It's such a slow game that you will burn yourself out and you'll be like, this ain't worth it. The money's too slow. For example, I get guys like, yeah, man, I just bought 10 houses. I'm making, they got 10 single family homes. They're making $200 to $300 a pop on them. And they're making, say, I don't know, $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 a month with 10 single family homes. And they're making, like I said, maybe $1,000 a month with all kind of work. And they're just getting started. They're, 28, 30 years old, 25. Dude, do you know how long it's going to take you to build up any wealth with $1,000 a month? That's peanuts. It's popcorn, right?
It's gonna get eaten up by the time
it's
one
gonna,
person screws up one house. You're gonna have $40K in damages, and it's gonna eat up all your income.
That's true too, Big Mama. But the problem is, guys, they're playing defense before they have a strong offense. That's the whole point of this live. You've got to build a strong offense. Defense is passive income. That's buy and hold. But you have to have a massive offense first. You got to have a Tom Brady offense, meaning you got to get into wholesaling first. You got to get into flipping. Wholetailing, right? Wholesale, flipping, to build up that offense, that active income, because you need lots and lots of cash. Once you build up that active income and you've got enough cash, you have, say, $100,000 saved, then you deploy that $100,000 into defensive mode, buy and hold, to protect, to go on defense, right? But you start off with offense, and you slowly, as you build capital and cash, you slowly take your offense and push it toward a defensive mode, to where eventually over time, maybe you're 10, 15, 20 years into the game and you build up all kind of cash, you're slowly playing more and more defense and not playing as much offense, to where eventually all you're doing is playing massive defense. Meaning what? Passive income, all buy and hold, all single family homes, mobile home parks, apartments, short-term vacation, whatever it is that you like to do. I recommend apartments and mobile home parks. We do, we like we do it all. I mean, we do short-term vacations. I don't do a whole lot of single family homes. We usually just take all the single family homes and wholesale them or flip them. But you want to play massive defense at that point where you're protecting your capital. You should not be trying to leverage all, and I'm telling you this because I'm not talking out of my ass. I did the exact opposite. I got into real estate. I didn't, when I first got in, I actually did flip a few houses and I did pretty good. I took all that money and I used that money to invest in my my mechanic shops and quick lube and car washes and auto glass shops, and I scaled that, right? So I didn't make a ton of mistakes, but then after that, I took my money and I was like, I'm gonna buy a bunch of single family homes. Why? Because I read Rich Dad Poor Dad's Robert Kiyosaki. I was like, oh yeah, buy a single family home and do this, and I was like, I'm gonna do that, and I regret it, right? I regret it because I should have been, I didn't have enough active income going into it. I didn't have enough money set aside to play defense, right? If you're first getting started, you got to get your offense going, right? You got to move that needle to where you got money saved, and then you deploy that capital into defense, meaning what? Buy and hold, passive income. But you guys should not be starting, if you're watching this live, you're 24, 25, 26, and you got good credit and you're trying to get into real estate, I don't recommend you getting into buy and hold right away, right? Because you're trying to play defense and you ain't got nothing to defend. You ain't got no money to defend. If you got $50,000, that's peanuts, right? In the bank. You probably shouldn't invest until you have about $100,000 in the bank saved up. Then I would take that $100,000. You could usually leverage that into, a $500,000 property, because the bank's typically going to want you to put 20-30% down on a property. So the point of the, Pat, any questions? Are you paying attention to this live?
Yeah, I am. I had one guy just say,
give me your questions, guys, as I'm...
This is off topic, but he did say, because you mentioned the importance of having your wife on board, I brought my wife to 10X conference, and things are different now. It's so true.
You know what's funny? Who is that? What's his name?
Alfredo Lopez.
Alfredo. That's exactly how I got Big Mama Rood on board. She wasn't sold on like doing all the, the big conferences or, personal development or going to the mastermind. And that's how you get your wife on board. Guys, you got to get your wife drinking the Kool-Aid. If your wife, and I'm getting off topic too, but I like that topic. I'm glad you brought that up, Alfred. If you want to get your loved one or your hated one, whatever kind of relationship you have, in our case, it may be a love-hate sometimes. It's kind of love-hate. Today, I didn't really like her too much.
No, I didn't like you.
Yeah, but she upset me a couple times today. But if you want to get your loved one on board, you got to get her drinking the Kool-Aid. How do you get her to drink the Kool-Aid? You got to bring the Kool-Aid to her sometimes. And sometimes you got to force her to drink the Kool-Aid and kind of trick her into drinking the Kool-Aid. And that's how I did the first 10X I went to the very first 10X conference 4 years ago, and she didn't want to come with me. So I was like, well, just come. I'll let you shop, right? I'll let you go buy some purses or whatever. Just come. Come on, Patty. I'll let you shop. You don't have to listen to any of these speakers.
Grant called my phone.
Well, we got,
that helped.
Yeah, that helped too when you talked to Grant personally. But I got her to the conference and I made her drink the Kool-Aid, and after that she was hooked, right? She was hooked on, I got her hooked on the juice. But we're going off topic though, right? But I'm glad you bring that up, Alfredo. That's a great point. If you want to get your wife on board, trick her with the Kool-Aid, right? So, but back to offense versus defense. The only reason you should start playing defense from the get-go is if you have a high-paying job, you got a lot of money saved up, then you should go straight to defense. What? Meaning passive income. But you should not, I repeat, not go straight to defense if you're first getting into real estate. You'll quit because it's not enough money. Like, you realize, like, dude, this is chump change. I just borrowed $150,000 to make $250, $300. It's like, it doesn't make any sense, right? But you think you're cool, and it strokes your ego because you fed a bill of goods saying, oh, invest in real estate. Yes, I agree you should invest in real estate, but you should only be investing large amounts of capital into real estate once you have money saved up to invest in real estate. Because if you're just getting started, it's not going to be worth your time to make, to buy 5-6 houses and make $800, $1,000, and then if you have an AC that goes out, it just wiped out 6 months of your income, of your profits. And you're like, dude, this is ridiculous. I ain't making no money. This is why 95% of people that get into real estate just end up quitting or don't do it right, because they're playing defense. They're playing massive defense before they have a strong offense. And it doesn't have to be necessarily wholesaling or flipping. You should, if you have a high-paying job or you have a business that creates a lot of capital, that's playing offense, right? That's active income. A business is active income. Wholesaling, flipping, wholetailing, that's active income. You have a high-paying job. Maybe you're watching this and you're an attorney, or you're a CPA, or a doctor, and you make, maybe you make $600, $700, $800, $1 million a year, and you don't know where to put that money. That's when because that's all offense. You're playing massive offense. That's active income. Then you start transitioning. You take that money and put it into a massive defensive strategy, and that's all real estate is it hedges all the money that you made actively. It keeps it in a safe place to where you don't lose your capital that you created actively, offensively, from inflation, right? Banks eating up your money, just sitting there doing nothing with it. If it's not moving, they ain't making no money. So you keep that money in a piece of real estate. Once you've made it, then it'll start spitting out, dividends for you. And you're protecting your money. And then you keep doing that over time. You just take that active income and just keep flowing it over into passive income. And then you build up such a massive defense that you got this freaking great wall, right? A barrier wall, the Great Wall of China, where you have so much passive income, meaning a massive defense, that nothing can come into your space or environment and mess you up financially, because you have this big old wall set up, this big defensive wall, because you have so much money being spit out from your passive income. But that takes time. That takes a long time. Unless you're born with $3, $4, $5, $10 million in cash, liquid, to set up a defensive wall passively, there's no reason you should be trying to invest in passive income. You should be taking all your money and going for active income. And guys, give me your questions.
I have one.
What's your question? What you?
Colton says, as an entryway to wholesaling residential properties, what's your opinion on wholesaling mobile homes? Then, as you get experience doing those smaller deals, you then get into residential single-family homes.
Yeah, you can wholesale mobile homes. I mean, I've done it. I've done a lot of it. I wholesale mobile homes back to myself to put them inside my parks. You could literally go put up signs, bandit signs in front of mobile home parks. We buy used mobile homes. You'll get people calling you trying to sell their mobile homes that they can't even sell, and then you can put them on, turn around, get them under contract for say I don't know $1,000, then turn around and put them on Facebook Marketplace for $2,500 to $3,000, and make a quick $2,000, and flipping it to somebody else that needs a home that wants to put it on a property or wants to move it into another mobile home park, or they just want to buy the one that's in that park and make a quick, couple grand. Now, wholesaling mobile homes is not as lucrative as wholesaling single family homes, but it's definitely lucrative. I know people doing it. I've done it a few times. It's not my main forte because usually the mobile homes that we get under contract super cheap. We just keep them and we put them in our mobile home parks. But there is a model out there, and I'm actually creating some content right now to upload into my wholesaling course on how to wholesale mobile homes, right? So, yeah, you can definitely do that, and then slowly get into wholesaling and flipping single-family homes, and then building up cash, and then slowly pushing that needle into playing defense, right? But you guys need to play massive offense, like massive offense. This is why I wholesale in 6 markets in 4 states, because I'm trying to play massive offense because I need capital. I need to score some touchdowns. I need all that money to where I can get so I can get a big defense, right? So I can have the best properties in the best areas that spit out the best income. I just bought the best deal of my life 2 weeks ago in Louisiana, in Gonzales, Louisiana, phenomenal area. I had to pay a premium for it. I paid $2.2 million for a 40-unit mobile home park, but it's freaking awesome defensive play, meaning I hedged my bets against inflation, market swings, economic meltdowns. Because why? I bought it in a great area, and I bought affordable housing. So I'm playing defense. I put $440,000 of equity into that deal down because I had to put 20% equity. I put $440,000 down of my own capital that I got from what? Playing massive offense, active income, right? And now I need to protect that active income and putting it into a massive defensive play, which is what? That mobile home park, which is passive. Now that $440K that I put down in that $2.2 million deal is gonna hold its value and increase in value and spit out cash flow. That park's gonna spit out $10,000 a month, every month, right? And that's okay. What's the question, Big Mama?
Jordan says, if you have the opportunity to buy with seller finance, lease option, or subject to, would you still have the same advice?
That's a different niche of, now that's a gray area as far as like, that's not like a black or white thing. I like subject to and lease options that's a great point. I'm glad you're bringing that up. What's his name again? Jordan. Yeah. When I first got started, I actually did a lot of lease options because it's a lease option is like the best of both worlds. You can play defense without all the risk, because you're not, especially on like a subject to or a lease option, because you're not holding your name, your ass is not on the line. So if you understand that game, yes, that's a good game to play, but it doesn't neglect the fact that you still need to build up massive amounts of cash. And if you sat there and all you did was play defense and play massive defense, meaning massive passive income, always trying to just get rental income the whole time you're as an investor, dude, it's gonna take you so long to actually get any momentum that you may quit by the time it's even before it even pays off, because passive income is such a slow game. Like, it's a super slow game. Unless you got massive amounts of money to put down on deals and buy the best premium deals, then you should not be playing the defensive game, the passive income game.
Colton has a second question
Okay.
for the first one. Silly question. How can you calculate the ARV for a mobile home? Different trailers run for different prices.
You're right.
Like
So
you said, all the way up to
Yep. So mobile homes are like a car, right? They're not like a house. Mobile homes are a movable, meaning they have a title. They don't have like like when you go to a DMV, like you buy a trailer like at a DMV, right? Like you to switch over the title name. So it's not like buying a single family home where it's like you have to, you know, it's not the same process, right? So as far as buying mobile homes, it's totally different than buying a single family home, if that makes sense. So Big Mama, what was that question again, Big Mama? I lost track. I'm sorry, guys. I lost track of that question. What was the question about the mobile home again? The difference between... I can't see you guys' question, so Big Mama's...
Hold on. Different trailers run for different prices.
Right?
So he wants to how you...
Oh, how I get the ARV. So typically, there is no like... There is a couple websites that you can use. I don't use them. I usually just shoot from the hip. I mean, when I'm buying if I'm buying like an 80s model or a 90s model trailer, I'm not paying no more than $1,000 to $3,000. If I'm buying an early 2000s, and this is all relative, right? Depending on the shape. It really depends on what's the condition of the trailers, right? What's the condition of the trailers? How much work I'm gonna have to put into them. If they're totally destroyed, it typically doesn't take me more than about $5 to $6 to fix them all up. I mean, that's why I love mobile homes, because like literally they're a box of cash that just they're like ATMs, right? They just spit out money, and if they're totally destroyed, it doesn't take a whole lot of money, right? So if you're gonna figure out the value on a trailer, typically, I mean, you probably need to go and research. I mean, typically a brand new trailer, like a 3-bedroom, 2-bath strip model, usually costs you about 45, 50 grand. The nicer models will run you about 55, 60. So I typically offer on trailers. This is how I offer mostly on trailers. I offer literally 20 to 30 cents on the dollar. Why do I offer 20 to 30 cents on the dollar? Because most of the times I have to move them and reset them up. Typically, depending on where you live, it takes $2,000 to $3,000, sometimes $4,000, just to transfer that trailer to its new spot. So you got that expense right up front, $2,000 to $4,000 to move it. Then you got another, roughly, depends on your area, another $3,000 to $4,000 to rehook up everything, redo the plumbing, redo the electrical, put a pad down, a dirt pad, permitting. Then you got to still rehab that trailer, which will cost you another, $5, $6, $7 grand. So you might have $8 to $10 grand just in moving, resetting up, and rehabbing, right? And trailers are not that valuable, right? So I'm usually offering 20 to 30 cents on the dollar of a trailer, depending on how much depending on how much work they need. Hope that answers your question. Patty, where are you at? I need you to tell me was somebody just asked another question. What's the question, Big Mama? What's the question? Come on, Big Mama. Get out here. Guys, if you don't... She's trying to cook, but hurry up. Trying to answer these questions. For some reason, I can't see the questions on my screen.
I feel like in order to wholesale mobile homes, you have to use a lot of your own money, since you may have to purchase the trailer immediately, then wholesale it. As opposed to residential wholesale, you can use 100% of the buyer's money.
That's true to a certain degree. That's true to a certain degree, but it depends on the situation. If they're in a park and they're being evicted and there's a timeline, yes, that would definitely apply. Like you'd have to have a buyer quick, and you definitely have to pay cash and move it really quick. Single family homes are definitely a little bit easier to maneuver than mobile homes if you're gonna wholesale and flip mobile homes. But there's still a market for it. But you got to understand, like, there's a lot of mobile homes being built right now, and a lot of brand new mobile homes being bought right now. So for every mobile home, new mobile home that's bought, typically, there's always going to be a older one being either removed from a property or needed to be moved out of a park. So that gives you an opportunity to buy older mobile homes because somebody wants a newer mobile home, right? Some of these people buy a mobile home every 10 years and they just keep on, they keep on getting a new mobile home every 10 years. And those older mobile homes are tougher to get financed, right? If somebody wants to buy them. So you can usually find investors that'll buy them cash. So there's a lot of different options. I mean, look, you can wholesale anything at the end of the day, right? So I would agree with you that yes, single family homes are definitely easier to wholesale, right? Hope that answers your question. Keep bringing your questions, guys. There's some more questions. I just saw them come through.
People buy mobile homes like they buy cars.
Yeah, people buy mobile homes like they buy cars.
They get a new one every few
Yep,
years.
that's what I just said. What's the
Chris, what is the best place to put bandit signs? I'm doing $1,000 for March and I've hit and missed success with placement.
bandit signs are hit or miss in certain areas.
That guy's in Houston.
Houston, yeah, you're gonna have a lot of competition in Houston. Man, it's a numbers game. The best spots, obviously, is the ones with the most traffic. But not when you put out bandit signs, you don't want to put them out in like the super high-end areas. They usually get kicked out by the city. You want to put these bandit signs out typically, depending on the areas. You want to put them in middle class, working class areas or lower. If you go put them in a super high-end area, like if I go put a bandit sign in, down this street, right, with all these multi-million-dollar houses, you got a $4 or $5 million house across the street. You think that bandit sign is gonna last long? No. There's all kind of city ordinances that they keep this area super clean. Like you can't put bandit signs down a street like this. You got to use common sense, right? You're gonna put bandit signs. You're gonna go a couple miles down there and go to older working class neighborhood, middle class neighborhood where there's 20, 30-year-old houses, right? So put them in the working class, middle class areas. Put a bunch of them. Put them at stop signs. Put them at red lights. Put them at intersections. But the problem with bandit signs, they usually get pulled out. It's kind of bandit signs are good to get started, but it's not a long-term game. Like you can't. It's hard to sustain a wholesaling. Dude, I know because like I started my business on bandit signs. I literally put so many bandit signs out of my city that they pretty much like banned I was known as like the bandit sign Nazi, right? I had thousands upon thousands in my city. I was crushing it. Don't get me wrong. I was making 40, 50 grand just on bandit signs a month for like 2 years straight. But then they literally like said, hey, dude, we catch you putting one more bandit sign out, like we're going to throw you in jail. So hope that answers your question. But back to the point of this live. The point of this live is to tell you guys, start with some active offensive activities. Active offensive activities, right? You just need to build cash up as fast as you can. You should not be trying to get into defensive mode or passive mode without having, massive active going, right? Once you build up that cash, put it into a defensive mode, which is passive. That way it gets protected, and you're protecting yourself and insulating yourself from market, recessions, inflation, the whole 9 yards. Keep bringing me your questions. Any other questions, Patty?
What is the easiest way to get an earnest money deposit for a buyer that is in Washington State and I'm in Florida? Bob Purchase.
Bob, you just have them wire it. Have them wire it to the title company, and that's how you do that. That's as simple. We have a buyer right now for a deal in Baton Rouge. A guy in Houston's buying it, and he just wired it to my title company in Lafayette. That's simple. So. But anyway, guys, listen, this is things that we can talk about like in my mastermind. If you can make it to my mastermind in Destin, Florida, March 27th and 28th, we're going to do it here at my house. We're going to hang out right here in this beautiful area, Destin, Florida. We're going to talk shop on everything actively, passively, raising capital, leadership, scaling, hiring and firing, everything, right? The whole 9 yards. We just finished remodeling the house, so it's all nice and cute. We did the whole white and turquoise blue. Kind of looks like a Greek. This house looks like it belongs in the Greek Isles, right? It's very European looking now, especially Greek looking with the white and the blues and the baby blues, or turquoise. But yeah, guys. I mean, it's just a matter. Look, and I'm not coming here acting like I know better than you. I'm just saying I got more experience. Like I started this shit when I was really young, and like I was telling you in the beginning of the live, like I lost a lot of money. Like I did things I didn't know, but I had the courage to take action, and I made a lot of good decisions, but also made some bad decisions. But through those decisions and the losing of money came what? Learning, lots of learning. And that learning transitions into what? Knowledge, right? And that knowledge, now I'm trying to give back to you guys on this live. You know, I don't come over here pretending to know something I don't know. If you ask me a question I don't know, I'm going to say, hey, dude, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. But if it's something that I have experience with, I want to give you guys valuable information that'll help you with your life, your real estate investing journey. So, you know, you have a what? What's that, Mom?
What is the key to doing consistent deals, Destin?
What is the key to doing consistent deals? That's really tough to, you know, to really get going, because I've struggled with that too, especially when I first got started. But it's massive marketing, guys. That's all it boils down to. What is doing consistent deals? Just meaning like you have massive marketing and communication lines out there. You're casting your pole out there with all kind of lines. You shouldn't have 1 or 2 lines. You got to have like 10 lines out there, and you got to spend money, guys. And if you ain't spending money on marketing, you're going to spend time and sweat equity, networking, creating relationships, creating connections that'll send you deals, right? So if you listen to this live, you're like, I'm a 24-year-old guy, I don't have a whole lot of money, I'm spending $500 a month in marketing, or $1,000, then you should be talking to every realtor in town, every contractor, every mailman, every fireman, every cop, you know. Say, hey, you know, tell them you'll give them a referral. Dude, it ain't easy, guys. Like, you know, it's funny how you see some of these people talk like it's easy. It ain't freaking easy. Like, it's a lot of work. It's super hard. It's super hard. It's so hard to the point where it's like, man, it's like, is this worth it, right? But it is worth it, because once you get it rolling and you start making really good money, like, you know, you break through that barrier of inconsistent deal flow to where you're doing consistent deal flow. But you're still going to have some inconsistencies. It's still going to have ups and downs, because as you're growing, like I'm in a bunch of markets now, we're still trying to figure out certain markets. We're still trying to figure out what works in a lot of these markets that I haven't got dialed in yet, right? So, and then you may have something dialed in, and you know, it only works for a year, and it's like it's not converting anymore, and you got to switch over and try something else. It's a constant split test, measure, adapt, and change to your market across the boards. Always gathering more and more information, tracking data, tracking information of what works and what doesn't work. And the only way you can do that is track that with statistics, right? You got to track it with statistics. You know, what's working versus what isn't working. What's up, Larry? What's up, Jason, Andy, Marty, Blake, Leo, Mark, Gene, Howell, Alex? Got a bunch of guys on here. But I hope all that makes sense, guys. I try to give you the best information I can give you. But you know, it's just. But at the end of the day, guys, it all boils down to the fundamentals and the basics. Like, you got to master the fundamentals and basics in real estate. And the fundamentals and basics starts with wholesaling. Wholesaling is where you should start. It's the ABCs, it's the 1, 2, 3s of real estate. Because why? It teaches you the basic fundamentals of investing. What? You know, how to market, how to find deals, how to negotiate, how to make an offer, how to estimate repair values, how to understand and know your market. Like, those are basic fundamentals. Like, if you don't have that down cold in each market that you're in, it's really tough to do anything, right? And if you haven't picked up my book already, I talk about this in my book, The Source of the Deal. You can get a free copy of my ebook, thesourceofthedeal.com, right? So, yeah. Anyway, any other questions, Mama?
One guy said, are you liking Florida better than Louisiana?
Yes. I like Destin more than. I was in Pensacola for a month and a half, and I definitely like Destin a lot better. What, Mama? Mama's been on the struggle bus.
No, we didn't like Pensacola.
We did. I don't, nothing against Pensacola. I just didn't. I don't know. I like Destin way better. It just feels more homey to me. But yeah, Florida is it's good to experience different states and different cultures and different ways of living. But it's still good to go home. Lafayette's always going to be home to me, right? Louisiana is always home.
It gave us a different perspective of home.
But yeah, when you get home, you definitely have a sense of, wow. It's good to be home, but you know, you should definitely be fluid in wherever you go. You shouldn't feel like you're stuck to one city, right? Just because you're born in one city and you've lived there all your life does not mean you have to stay in that city, right? Like, you have to experience other cultures, other places, because it's just, you gotta, at the end of the day, guys, if you're born into a small town, like, there's just not as much opportunity as there is in bigger cities, right? That's just the facts of the matter. And you should not be investing real estate wise just in one city. You need to be into multiple cities that are doing well, that have good demographics, good economics, a lot of jobs, in areas that are insulated from market pullbacks and staying in affordable housing, right? I know that's what I'm doing. We're investing. We have parks all across the South in multiple states, and I plan to keep on expanding, right? And if you're interested in learning how to invest in real estate, don't start off with mobile home parks. Don't start off with apartments unless you have tons of money that you can that you just like, hey, I got tons of money. I don't want to start a wholesale. I don't have the time to wholesale or flip. Then maybe go with apartments and mobile home parks and active or passive income plays like that. But if you're first getting started, without a shadow of a doubt, if I would have started and if I would have known how to wholesale when I first got into real estate when I was 24, 25, I would be light years. And you hear me say that. If you follow me, you hear me say that all the time. I would be light years ahead of where I am now. Why? Because when you learn to wholesale, well, for one, it gives you access to the best deals, which I wrote a whole book about called The Source of the Deal. Pick it up at thesourceofthedeal.com. And two, you can build active income by wholesaling, right? You can build a lot of money wholesaling and a lot of capital. And then what you do is you take that capital and you just start keeping the best deals that come through your pipeline. Any other questions? And if you're interested, hit me up. We got a few spots left for the Destin house, the mastermind that we're going to be hitting up. The mastermind is going to be we're going to talk about, raising private capital, wholesaling, flipping, leadership, scaling, hiring, firing, marketing and branding. I got Robert Sislow coming to the house. I don't know if you know who Robert Sislow is. He used to work for Grant Cardone, and he helped Grant a lot with his marketing. He's going to be here. Then we got my partner Miguel Catelier, who's a phenomenal entrepreneur. Guy got nominated for Entrepreneur of the Year of Canada, owns 2 8-figure businesses. Then we have Chris Nago on private money. Then I got a guy that helps with online generation, SEO, PPC, things of that nature. That's going to talk to you guys about that. Any other questions, Big Mama?
So, John says he loves the hat. Rhea Boot says, what's up?
What up, Ray?
Kelly says hi. Larry says, I think there are more parks in the southeast than northwest where I am.
Probably so.
Jason says, best private lenders for mobile home parks, ?
Private lenders for mobile home. Okay, private lenders, I don't know a whole lot of private lenders. I'm using traditional local community banks and credit unions to finance my mobile home parks. I am getting into national funding. The problem with guys that are the bigger the national banks is that they don't typically like to lend on mobile home parks that are older, and they don't like to lend on park-owned mobile home parks. They want to lend on lot rent, right? Meaning you don't own the park, or you don't own the mobile homes. You just own the dirt. So you're renting dirt, right? That's what they like to lend on. So.
Larry says, are you going to get your kids into your business?
Yeah, if they want to. I'm gonna push them as hard as I can, but I did that with my first son and he hated my guts for a little while. But
it depends on their character. Some of them it's just not for them, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Eden's interested.
I mean, I'll have some of my kids are deaf.
interested.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends on their character. I mean, my older son's just not, I'm so entrepreneurial, but he's like nothing, doesn't have anything to do with it, right? So you can't force them to do what they don't want, right? Just because you're a certain way does not mean that they're going to be just like you. Like, we're all individuals. I don't care if you got the same mom and dad. You may have 4 or 5 brothers and sisters. Every one of you are going to be different and like different things.
They all have the opportunity to come to all of our events, though. And Aiden does. He comes to all of our events. Yeah. I'm guessing Larry's talking about used to.
What's up, Mark? What's up,
the
Steve?
Video genius. He used to work for. Did you tell him he used to work for Grant? Yeah, he hasn't been working for Grant for a year.
Yeah, no, he doesn't work for Grant anymore.
He works for himself.
Yeah, he works right.
John, call me tomorrow. I have funding for mobile homes. John Riviera.
Mobile.
Private money funds.
inbox me, John. I think I've been talking to you already, but inbox me but you'll finance the parks also, the whole parks? Because I've been having trouble with the bigger national banks. They don't want to, if it's not city sewers, water with paved roads, they don't want to finance them.
That's all the questions.
And they don't want to finance it if it's a mobile, if we own the trailers. They just want to do the dirt pad. So, but anyway, guys, what's up, Ray Abood?
I posted the links to chrisrood.com,
Yep.
the trailer park, and the master.
Listen, guys, you can get all this information, all this knowledge that I have in my course, in my mentoring, in my, coaching. You can have all this stuff, all this information I give on lives. Like, I have it really systematized and very organized and very detail oriented inside of my courses, my coaching, and all that. You literally take all of my knowingness, all this shit I've experienced over the past 14, 15 years of investing in real estate, and you get the shit for peanuts, right? So the best way to do this is just invest in yourself. Take what I've found out through School of Hard Knocks, because and I made some good decisions, but I also made some bad decisions. But why would you want to? Don't be so prideful to try to figure it out on your own. Like, dude, you can learn shit from other people through their mistakes. And the smart people learn from other people's mistakes versus trying to figure it out on their own, like I did, because I was an idiot. I tried to figure it out on my own. For a small fraction of a cost, you can get a mentor and you can learn everything. I say everything. Most of the stuff you need to learn in a small, condensed part of time versus trying to say, hey, I don't need a mentor. This ain't that hard. Guys, there's a lot of finite details that you need to know to be a professional real estate investor. I know we got a few on here like Ray Abood. Ray's a professional investor. He's been doing this shit a long time too, just like me. And the guy's a stud. And I can vouch for Ray. He knows what he's doing, and I bet you he's made a lot of mistakes like me also. But this shit ain't for the faint of heart. But if you get it dialed in, it can create generational wealth. And you can learn a skill that nobody can take away from you, that will be passed along to your kids, especially the wealth you generate just in being able to have access to the best deals, right? Right? You start getting a huge portfolio and you building that massive defense, then you just have a defensive wall for your economic well-being over time, because you have created such a wall of just a hedge where it can't be penetrated, right? And you'll leave generational wealth. But you can't do that without having a massive offense of building cash to build that wall, which is defense, which is what? Passive income, money that you get every single month from your investments, to have that way of life where you can wake up every morning and every month you're making, I don't know, 20, 30, 100, maybe it's 500,000, maybe it's $1 million a month. I have a personal goal of wanting to make $1 million a month passively by the time I'm, say, 60 years old, right? That leaves me with 22 years left to get to that point. And if I work on it hard enough, I know I can get there, right? It's just a matter of staying focused, super focused, and giving the business a lot of my attention, because at the end of the day, you need focus and attention, guys. Focus and attention. Applied focus and attention is just energy, right? If you put a lot of energy into something, it'll pay off. But it's got to be to the point where you take it very, very seriously, and it's a game, right? You don't want to take it too serious to where it's like you can't have no fun with it, because at the end of the day, you got to have fun, right? It's a game, right? It's just a game. Making money, doing real estate, being an entrepreneur is just a game, right? And when you know the rules, then you can play a better game. And I'm trying to give you some of the rules that I've learned, because I didn't know all the rules and I got burned and I made a lot of mistakes. So take what I'm telling you, hope you take it and you do something with it, right? I come on here every week and give you guys content, for one, because I like interacting with you guys. I like giving back, and it's fun, right? It's a game to me too, to help you guys. So hope that makes sense. If you want to come to the mastermind, I'd love you to be here. Inbox me if you're interested in the mastermind. If you're interested in my coaching on the wholesaling and flipping and wholesaling sides, go to chrisrood.com. If you're interested in the mobile home park side, go to mobile home park investing.chrisrood.com if you're interested in that. But you should only be interested in that if you already have a lot of capital saved up and you just want to get into mobile home parks. But if you're just getting started, absolutely go to chrisrood.com, book a call for the wholesaling and flipping, start with that, and then try to come to a mastermind in Destin, Florida. I mean, it's freaking paradise out here. Check. I mean, look. Freaking paradise. They're having a party next door with all these young kids that came and rented this house on the side of me. But anyway, I'm going to call it a night. Big Mama cooked a big old stew. So I'm going to go eat some supper, and I'll see you next week on the next live. Peace. Oh, and skill up at chrisrood.com. Peace.